Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to the Truck Driver Sean YouTube channel. Today, coming at you with a very cool pedal sent out to me by Dennis at Protone Pedals. It is the Gary Holt. That's about him right there. Mid boost. Signature. Mid boost. Alright. So, nice little cool touch. It's got this right here. So, blood splatter, can't beat it. The controls would be volume, mid, frequency, and it has a peak button, or a peak toggle. So let's see what she do. Alright, I want to thank Dennis for sending this out. God knows that I've been very opinionated about his stuff, and for him to send that out, that's huge. Shows he believes in his product, that's very good. Because I've never said he makes garbage. Just some of the stuff makes a little more noise than what I want to have. But I will say, the dude's discounted everything for the Black Friday shopping season. So, trust me, one of the best things you can do, if you like good overdrives, that attack overdrive that he makes is phenomenal. And it's $100. It's like a steal. So I'd go smash one of those as fast as I could before he takes that sale down. And I believe these are $30 off their normal price. So I think $169, I think. I don't know. I probably should have looked that up before I started filming. But that's not how I do what I do. Alright, so let's hook this up to the Marshall. God knows Marshalls just don't sound good. Probably why Gary has this made, because he uses Marshalls. Alright. So, let's hook it up, see what happens. I'm going to be using a Solar guitar, if you can imagine that. Seems how they're kind enough to endorse me. I probably should use their product, eh? And we'll start with a 6-string in standard tuning, and then we will move on to a 7-string, depending on how this all goes. Alright. So, the tone we get from the Macheo. The Marshall always needs a ton of help, so let's turn the Gary Holt on. Wow, that cut the shit out of everything, didn't it? And so I have to put this little toggle up. cut to the crab. Here we got the regular Marshall. Pro tones, mid-range. Put that toggle down just for some. Back to the Marshall. So really, that thing cuts it really well. So that's just makes the Marshall sound pretty good. So let's see what these knobs actually do. So we have the volume. Shit tons of gain. Alright. It's already a high gain amp, so we're going to take and go to the mids. Some mids all the way down. Mids in the middle. Mids cranked to full Chinese overdrive. That is aggressive. We're going to pause this 6-string melee for just a second. Sometimes you hear something like that on a 6-string and you go, damn, that's kind of clawing. But what would it sound like on the 7? So we're going to go to drop G for goddamn low on the 7-string, because that right there I think is going to be a sweet spot for the extended range guys. Because it just, been playing these things long enough, you realize, okay, that sounds pretty good. Alright, so this is the Marshall all by itself. Mid boost. Again with the mid boost off. Sounds like shit. Gary Holt mid boost. So, like I said before, I could tell this was going to be awesome on the 7-string. So, I can sit here and tweak this thing perfectly for the 7 string. It's pretty close now, where you get those super awesome jugs. Alright, so what's my synopsis on this thing? If you have a Marshall or you have a super chubby amp and you're using a 7 string, like my 7 string always sounds like ass. Ass. This can fix it. This will put some pep in your ass. It will. Just saying. If you listen to it before and after, listen very carefully with headphones. If you listen to this with your cell phone audio, then, well, that's on you, motherfucker. Alright. That's straight amp. Add this. Just kills on the 7 string. 6 string, wasn't a big fan of it for the way I like my thing to sound. I will say that the secret to using this, if you happen to get yourself one, it's all in that volume knob. Because it gives you a, when it says boost, it's almost like having a full gain structure. So when you're adding a little bit of gain, you want to be so subtle with it. And with this thing here, I barely have it turned on, and it's more than enough. But she'll go ape shit on you, like full on gorilla dick. It adds a lot of gain. So even if you have an amp that don't have shit for gain, you're probably gonna come out of that thing screaming if you use this pedal. But yeah, I think this slays. It really is good. So big props to Dennis for that one. That's when you can take an amp that really sounds horrible with a 7 string. You know, amps are not cheap. Let's face it, they're very expensive. So if you can turn around and spend a couple $100 on a high quality pedal like this to take and fix your sound, then why on earth would you go buy a new amp if you can have a couple $100 solution? $1,000 plus solution, a couple $100 solution. Not all amps are bad. Sometimes amps don't really voice themselves the way that you want them to. That's what you can use these pedals for. And this mid boost works awesome for a 7 string. Like, hands down, this is pretty sweet for a 7 string. Like, I'm impressed. That really took the 7 string in that Marshall just sounds like absolute shit. I think Marshalls sound like shit, period. But they sound super shitty when you put a 7 string in them. This thing right here instantly made it tolerable. And for the 7 string, if you want to know what I was using for settings, if you got one of these like, ooh, that boy dialed that shit in good. There's my settings right there. Alright. So yeah, for a 7 string, this thing kills. 6 string, I think it all depends on how you dial your amp in. I scoop the shit out of my mids when I play a 6 string. I don't know, I'm old, so that's just what we did. It's time I learned if scooping mids was a thing. Thank you, Metallica. So yeah. But anyhow, this is a great pedal. It outperforms what I thought a mid boost would do. I don't know how to really explain myself when I say that, but usually most mid boosts is kind of boost the mids. This here boosts the whole amp, and you control the mids and the frequency at which you're controlling them. So it kind of, in a roundabout way, you're kind of getting an overdrive boost like you would from an overdrive pedal built right into this. And you got a low power and a high power. I think it's what the Peak does. I don't know. I should have probably looked up, but I like just to plug these things in and see what happens. I think that's the only way you're going to get an honest look at it, is if you don't know what it does, you just plug it in and go. Maybe I'm foolish for thinking that way, but that's just what I do. If I sit with this thing for a month and monkey with it, I can make this thing sound phenomenal under any circumstances. But what do you do when you get it? Same thing I do when I get a piece of gear. You take it out of the box, you want it to sound like it did in the review that you saw. Well, if the guy works on it for a month to make it sound good, you got to put a month into it to figure out how to get it to sound good. Just the one thing they don't tell you when they make those videos is how they got it to sound the way they did. Me? Yeah, shit on me for using in-room audio. What do you hear when you're playing an instrument? You hear the in-room audio. People forgot that somewhere. But that's how I like to hear it. When I watch a review, that's what I want to hear. I don't give a fuck what you can make it sound like if you put it through processors and through whatever you put it through to EQ it and edit it. No. What I want to see is what I do. I take it out of the box, I plug it in, and it's a journey to get it to sound good. Sometimes it happens fast. Sometimes, you know, we're 22 minutes into this. So obviously I had fun doing that. And I got to a really good spot. When I heard that on the 6th string, I heard what I hear sometimes when I unplug my 7th string and plug in the 6th string. I was like, whew. That's how I knew it was going to be a really good sound for that 7th string. So really, if you're playing extended range and you kind of got a mucky amp and you're like, I hate my mucky amp, get yourself one of these. Honestly, I'm doing no trickery. None. Nada. And just so you know, Dennis didn't send this to me for free. If I want to keep it, I got to buy it. That's how it works. All right? He's a small guy out of the United States. Can't just be giving pedals away to everybody. I'm sorry, it just doesn't work like that. But this, I'm going to have to put my thinking cap on whether I want to keep this or not, because for that 7 string, you're not going to see it because I'm about done with this video. But I'm going to put this through a couple other amps just because what I did with that 7 string, I have a couple amps I don't use with the 7 string just because it, I don't know. They just don't have what I like amps to have. When I use a 7 string. And I'm curious as to what this will do. That's what the videos like this do for me. When I see other guys do it, it's like, ooh, I wonder what that will do under this circumstance, and put them up against it. So yeah, this is the Gary Holt. I don't know why this thing won't focus. It's being an asshole. There we go. Gary Holt Signature Mid Boost by Protone Pedals. I want to again thank Dennis for always being kind, even though I'm super, super judgy. That's kind of my job, what I do here. I do this as a hobby. I'm not a professional YouTuber. This is just a hobby of mine. I drive a truck for a living. Hence why they call me Truck Driver Sean. So, big thanks to Dennis for sending this out and always being kind to me, even when in the process of doing what I do, sometimes it's not exactly the friendliest thing to his company. But it's never a question of quality. It's just a question of how I'm using it and how it works with what I do. And sometimes they're a little noisy. This one's not, though. This one's super clean. Really, really, really... you saw what I did. I mean, there's no faking it. I mean, I did it live on camera. I was like, oh, we got to grab the 7 string. And I grabbed it. You heard me unplug the 6 string and plug in the 7 string. Amp never got touched. Pedal never got touched. I just changed guitars. And that's what it did. So yeah. Again, Protone has some really cool pedals. And the biggest one, and I know they're all good, but my favorite pedal is the Attack Overdrive. I love that thing. It is awesome. And he's got it marked down for Black Friday for like $100. Like, it made my Christmas shopping list. $100. I paid more for that for it used. Almost want to buy one just to have a backup. Because, well, I really love that pedal. It's really good. Anybody who likes overdrive pedals and you want to have really good options, to me, the Attack Overdrive, I know I should be talking about this pedal alone, but really, at the end of the day, I got to mention it, because if I don't, I'll feel stupid for not mentioning it. The Attack Overdrive, if people talk about the Precision Overdrive all the time. To me, if the Precision Drive would have had whatever it is that's in that Attack Overdrive with a little bit better noise gate, it would have decimated the playing field. But that's not what they did with the Precision Drive. So I don't know the history, but I know that Misha Mansour did a lot of stuff with Protones before he started his own company. And they're very similar, but the Protones just sounds better. But the only thing Dennis could do to really, really rocket ship that thing and probably would irritate the living piss out of Misha would be to put a noise gate in that thing. It'd be unstoppable. It's such a good overdrive. I like it the way it is. I mean, most of us high gain guys have noise gates out the ass anyway. But yeah. But we're here to talk about this. I will say though, and I've said this to Dennis, what I'd like to see from Protone pedals is to take the haunted delay and the haunted reverb and put them together in a pedal. Because I think that would just be awesome. Because individually, they sound great. But if you could put those in so they'd work together in one box, it'd be the ambient player's dream come true. It really would be. All right. Thanks again, Dennis. I appreciate it. This is a home run. And I'm going to plug this into a couple of my other amps. Maybe I'll put some stuff up. Follow me on Instagram. I might plug this into a couple other amps. Post quick little 60-minute or 60-second little videos up on Instagram to check out what we'll do through some of these other amps. Why not? Curious. That's why I do this, because I'm curious. That's pretty much it. All this stuff I do, I'm just basically filming my journey, hearing different things. If that makes any sense. In the most broke dick way fashion. All right. Smash the subscribe button. If you're still hanging around to hear me say that, because it's been like 28 minutes in the last end of it here. I just been rambling like an asshole. Anyway, y'all be good. I'll catch you in the next video. Later. Keep music evil. Bring metal to the children. Ciao.